First and Now is brought to you by World Vision Canada, national charity partner of the BC Lions. Visit bclions.com/worldvision to become a supporter. Matt Baker alongside Nick Kowalski. And I'll tell you what, at this rate, Nick, you're going to be going to Kenya with World Vision, I think. You're quite the world traveler. What's tell our friends about your latest adventure.
It's the last one for a little while for that reason. It has been a lot of travel. It's been a combination of work too, though.
Yeah.
But yeah, Cabo was the latest stop. First time out there. Loved it. Got a little, interfered with the spring break shenanigans down there that have begun. But, we had a more chill resort, which was nice. So kind of had got a bit of a hybrid role there. But we're recording this 6 days after I've returned from Cabo, so that the darkness of my tan has faded a bit. I actually did a good job with, applying sunscreen and not burning too bad. I burnt the top of my forehead a little bit. You can't see it on the camera. It's kind of faded out now, but day one, I had a really bad,
we'll take your word for
improper
that. Yes.
Forehead tan. That was not on purpose. Because by the end of it, it was only like 24 degrees out there. So I'm like,
yeah.
And with wind, it wasn't
not much humidity, right?
Yeah, and with wind, it wasn't that hot. So by the end of it, I was like wanting to tan and being a little dicey with the sunscreen. But overall, I think worked it out. Are you for sunscreen too? Are you a spray guy or a lotion guy?
Prefer the spray.
Okay, I'm a lotion guy, but I might try because I think the lotion is where you run into like the wacky burns and tan lines and all that. But
on that, yeah. So on this topic of forehead burns, I last time, it would have been the last time to Mexico was in Playa del Carmen a few years ago. Wife and I, and I didn't apply the sunscreen 100% well, so I had like kind of a misplaced burn below my shoulder here. You can tell the spot where I didn't. Apply the sunscreen, though. I definitely, But Cabo was good, though. Never done Cabo. Been to a few other spots in Mexico, but not Cabo.
It's very touristy. We actually walked into the downtown kind of marina area, and this is San Lucas, the area, not San Jose. I know there's two different kind of areas of Cabo, but I felt pretty safe. Prices were, you had to kind of pick and choose, I felt, but overall, hauled back 2 bottles of mezcal with me, so I was happy about that.
Nice.
Gonna indulge in those over the next couple weekends here, but it was good. I enjoyed it overall. It was very beautiful too. It almost felt like a green screen when you're looking out your hotel room of the arch and like big cruise ship. It kind of looked like a green screen to me. It was that kind of surreal. So definitely a beautiful place. I get the hype of it, but it was busy. I wouldn't advise to go there during spring break. Obviously, we kind of got the right at the beginning of it. It's not even like the most craziness, but you could tell that it was definitely a spring break. Met some people from Georgia, University of Alabama, University of Marquette. There was this family watching a University of Marquette basketball game at one of the restaurants we were at, and I'm pretty sure we were kind of theorizing of where they're from, and we came to the theory that their son was on the team because they were very into the game. I didn't know that Marquette's in Wisconsin too. Yeah, and it's obviously the time of the year to learn all about universities with March Madness, but it's crazy right now.
You know what? You've probably found this, and I just saw this firsthand in Las Vegas last month. It is crazy how loyal the Americans are to their universities. These were probably just people who had gone to Marquette and have stayed cheering for them for all these years.
We had a theory they were wearing like polos of Wisconsin. So our theory was that it was a group of parents that their kids went to high school together, and some of their kids went to Wisconsin, some of the kids went to Marquette. That was our theory because they were way into the game. They were calling the kids by nicknames almost, so it almost is like they had like an insider element of it. So we'll never know. We could have asked, I guess, but the crazy thing is it was the St. John's game from 2 Saturdaries ago where St. John's beat them on a buzzer beater. So we saw them.
Oh, you saw? Oh, that was the one, eh?
Yeah. So I was kind of you root for chaos, but I was rooting for a buzzer beater either way. But they obviously didn't get their wish. But it wasn't too outlandish of a reaction. I thought they were gonna like drop to their knees or something in the middle of the restaurant because they were really into they were screaming at every basket made for Marquette. But they're into the dance too. Anyways, Marquette's a 7 seed, I believe. I was filling on my bracket.
They're in. Today, yeah, so. I saw that. It's crazy time of year, and I'm off to Palm Desert next week.
There you go.
So yeah, I'll be that guy supporting the U.S. economy, I guess, right now. But nothing wrong with Palm Desert. Good. Looking forward to seeing some palm trees and some warm weather.
Yeah, didn't get sick of that. That's for sure.
Yeah,
Miss the pool.
quick little trip. Yeah, it'll be a lot of pool time and watching sports, keeping up with everything. And as we record this, this is Monday, St. Patrick's Day. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Forgot to wear green, but we don't usually wear green in this office. Maybe have some green beer later, but St. Patrick's Day, always a good time.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Celebrating tonight, or what are you doing?
No, we're taking it easy. I actually got hit by a little bit of a stomach virus. I don't know if it was Mexico related over the weekend.
Drank the water down, the tap water down.
I don't know.
There,
maybe it might have been that dolphin kissing me. I don't know, but something got me a delayed reaction.
How was that swimming with the dolphin? What was that like? Was that kind of scary at all?
Highly recommend. Well, it's themed in my go for it or punt of me going. I actually went underwater with it, so that's kind of giving away where I'm going with my go for it or punt. But it was very cool. The dolphins, it's almost like scary in a sense because you hear about how like vicious they are out in the wild, and I was almost having that thought when I was like, they feel like a balloon. I don't know if you ever hugged a dolphin.
No,
it feels like a balloon.
Yeah,
it was really weird, and they're massive. They're like 500 pounds, right? But it's crazy how smart they are. I would recommend it too if you're looking to do an excursion. Swimming with the dolphins, it's a quick one, definitely family themed, but it was fun.
Was this in the resort or would you?
No, it was right in the marina. So we pretty much,
okay.
Which was nice because it was about a 35-minute walk back to our resort. So we just walk along the beach on the way back. We could have walked there too. It was $10 for transport on that little like shuttle they always pick you up in, but you could have walked. All right, could have walked there. So I would highly recommend that one. Got the camels too and everything. So got our money's worth for excursions. That's for sure.
Excellent. It's the time of year to be going on holidays. And you only live once, so good on you. Good on you, the world traveler Nick Kowalski. And next stop for him, we think, is Kenya. Right? No.
Another K destination, Kamloops.
Kamloops, yes. Well, we're going to talk about Kamloops. This is an exciting one for us. General Manager Ryan Rigmaiden slated to join us here. So we're going to get Ryan's thoughts on the week that is. They're off to Regina for the CFL Combine, testing and interviewing a lot of the top prospects for this draft. As it stands now, the Lions will have the first pick in the second round, courtesy the Vernon Adams trade. We think that'll end up being the 8th selection when all's said and done. So, Lions likely to lose their own first round selection. Don't need to get into that, but that's the way it stands right now. Anyway, you slice it. They're going to have 2 picks early in that second round. Calgary's pick from the VA trade, plus our own pick, which would be the 4th pick in that draft. So 8 and 11, when all's said and done. As it stands now, it's 9 and 12, but there should be some official word on that in the coming days and weeks. But I love this time of year, though. Rob Ralph, talking about the news that has dropped since our last recording. Rob Ralph officially appointed as assistant general manager, still going to be running everything as far as the Canadian draft goes. Will Ark added to the U.S. scouting department. So the player development season really, Nick, is heating up. The U.S. free agent camps are going to get underway here shortly. It's an exciting time.
Yeah, and Rob Ralph is someone who's worked very closely with Ryan Rigmaiden over these past couple of years, selecting draft picks, Ryan on the American side, Rob on the Canadian side, and definitely a well-earned promotion to the assistant GM role, right? And I always look back to that 2022 class that I guess by now you can kind of look back and evaluate, and because when the classes happen, like even last year's, it's too early to tell, right, with how the prospects are going to pan out. But look at that 2022 class, which was the first year I was here. The team they rattle off Nathan Cherry, Noah Zer, Joshua Archibald, Ryder Varga, Adrian Green, and Riley Pickett. First 5 rounds, and those are all CFL players right now. It's a blessing and a curse too that guys like Joshua Archibald, when they pan out, when their second contract comes, it's obviously a salary cap world as we always say, and he goes elsewhere to Montreal. But
a lot of guys like to go home too, right?
That too, but still, like guys like Nathan Cherry are here, and they're very high on after he's coming off his injury. Riley Pickett's turned into a very good special teamer and versatile player too, right? And Adrian Green fits
played
that bill.
3 different positions. Did Riley Pickett, or
but
has Riley
Adrian
Pickett.
Green fits that bill too, where he becomes a starter early and excels, and has to gets a higher contract from the Calgary Stampeders and moves on. But Rob Ralph, point being is that he has a track record of good selections in the draft.
Yeah, and in the case of Adrian Green, the good part of that is the Lions had a replacement in Christophe Beaulieu.
Exactly.
I have a hunch Rigmaiden is going to mention that name when we talk to him about some of these up-and-comers that are going to play even bigger roles coming into 2025. It's about, the draft is about replenishing the Canadian talent and the depth that's already there. Last year's first-round pick, George Una, however you call him, that's probably a guy that's going to get a long look at maybe a position at guard, and that's what they need. They need one of those Canadian offensive linemen to step up on day one, earn a spot, and be a guy for the next 7-8 years, right? That's what we've been expecting and waiting for as far as this Lions offensive line has gone. So, yeah, well earned for Rob Ralph, and they're like kids in candy stores this week as the Combine gets underway in Regina.
Yeah. Looking forward to, seeing what this class is all about. If you want right now, you can go online and search some mock drafts too. I've been seeing some of them pop up. Something I've enjoyed over the past couple of years too is, the NFL draft is such a massive deal, and the CFL, obviously it isn't to that pedigree, but when you're seeing mock drafts drop, 6 weeks before the draft, that's definitely a stage I think that wasn't there necessarily 5 years ago. And in terms of, the coverage and excitement for the draft. So, while our brass is obviously that's their favorite time of the year, it's nice to see that, the media and even the fans now are getting a little taste and excitement in the weeks heading up to the draft as well.
Other exciting tidbits, we've been recording for about 12 minutes, and 12 minutes is all it took for the Lions in Langford.
I see what you did there.
To sell out. There you go. Yeah, I've been at this for a while now. I know how to line it up. Anyway, we figured this is going to be the case. A lot of tickets were sold already. Season ticket holders, Check TV had a pre-sale. So we knew going into this public sale that whatever was left was going to be gone. And I was kind of on standby waiting to send out the second press release. And our people said, probably about 10, 12 minutes and you're good. And it turned out to be an even dozen. So Langford's excited, and so are we.
Yeah, looking forward to that one too. Obviously, it's not only is it a game out in the island again, but it's our very first game of the 2025 season, right? It's a preseason game. Dwayne Vanu at the press conference already said that Nathan Rourke will be playing in that game too, so that adds a little buzz to it. And fun fact that we found about this game, and this game will take place at Starlight Stadium. And you may have seen, if you use TikTok or just reels or whatever, you may have seen a trend that I found this fascinating. The trend I'm talking about is there's where somebody throws a ball to or it's from a movie, but a quarterback throws a ball to a cheerleader, and says "nice catch, cheerleader," and then the cheerleader looks back and says "not my name, quarterback," and throws a ball back to him. So that's a scene from a rom-com titled "Sidelined: the QB and Me," and that scene was actually filmed at Starlight Stadium, where the preseason game will be played. And the West Shore Rebels, the team that plays, or the junior team, they actually
BCFC.
They confirmed that's true, and they filmed the movie out in Victoria and the island too. So a little tidbit, maybe we could recreate that with Nathan and somebody else when we get down there. But a little fun tidbit about that. So another exciting element. I haven't even been there yet in general.
That's right, you haven't. Yeah,
looking forward to go to Starlight.
What caused you to miss it last year again?
Well, we had to be boots on the ground at different events during the festival at Touchdown Pacific.
Ship Point Harbor, I think you were. Yeah.
No, I was with Commissioner Ambrosi at the flag football game between the Esquimalt.
Oh, right.
Armed Forces and the Navy. Yeah. So I had a fun day. Don't get me wrong.
That was the fun day for me because I was on the mic, kind of emceeing practice. And I'm like the roving guy with the mic looking for someone to talk to. I had to get Moj to talk to me, and it was slim pickings out there. But it was actually kind of fun. They sold out that open practice, saw a lot of our familiar island fans. So you're gonna see this venue, and you're going to like it very much.
Well, I've already seen the pictures or videos from the soccer games that were held there. I think it was a Canadian women's team. It was one of Christine Sinclair's last game, if I'm not mistaken. And it was obviously packed for that too. And that looked like a really cool atmosphere. So it'll be during the daytime, but if we can recreate that, it'll be cool.
Did I tell you this? That when we went over there to announce the game last month, Liam Thompson was with myself, Nathan, Carolyn, Cody, Dwayne Vanu, and a cast of hundreds from Langford. Later that night, there was a CONCACAF League Cup game. All of a sudden, we finished the press conference and we're doing follow-up scrums, interviews. Some random guy with a Mexican flag comes and just starts waving the flag. So I went up to the guys, hey, are you with the Monterey team or whatever team it was? No, just a fan. He was a fan who flew up to watch his team in Victoria or in Langford, and he just stumbled upon the stadium while our event was going on, and he came in to hang out. That was kind of one of the more random parts of the day.
There you go. I'm sure, well, with the World Cup coming here too, get used to a lot more of that in the coming years out in the Vancouver and surrounding areas.
Yeah. So definitely, it's always exciting. We're going to hit Kamloops here in a few weeks, Langford, and hopefully all roads lead to Winnipeg and the 112th Grey Cup on the 16th of November, I think it is. Yeah, I think I got that right. Anyway.
Take your word.
Someone can correct me if I'm wrong. We've got all our usual features here on this episode of First and Now. Go for it or punt. I'll probably have a trivia game coming up here. They Not Like Us has a BC Lion flavor to it. My part does anyway. Ryan Rigmaiden in a couple of minutes, but we're going to talk to Ryan about, among other things, the list of impressive Americans. Very quickly, before we get to that, we should talk about some of the other content we have planned. And you're doing some fun stuff right now. When do you fill people in on that?
Well, yeah, like we said earlier, it's a lot of, like you said, it's when we take our vacation time. So it's a lot of kind of calm before the storm stuff. But if you go on the BC Lions socials right now, a project we got going on is these new off-season edition profiles. So if you want to, the key guys that we've been bringing in, Dejon Allen, we started out with, obviously, the offensive tackle from Toronto, but Brady Lenius, Jeremiah Mazzoli, he's still to come. So just a quick little 3 questions we prompted these guys with, and letting the fans, get to know these guys a little bit before they see them in action and actually get to meet them at practices, training camp. You have it. So some projects we got on the go right now. A lot of planning right now too. That's what takes place in these months when you are working. But yeah, take some off time, like you said, take the vacations. But some exciting stuff going on still.
I'm currently working with Steve Daniel, updating the Lions media guide and record book. Some new additions to the guidebook this year, which we're excited about. Some more individual related stats. So that should be published probably right after the draft, late April, early May. So that's taken up a lot of time right now. Stephen Chang, we should mention this, has left us. Communications coordinator, photographer extraordinaire, security guard, filled a lot of roles on the road.
My roommate.
Your roommate, yes. Mine in a previous time, too. Stephen has gone back, is in the process of going back to school, going to back to earn some more qualifications in the business world. So we wish him luck there. But one of his final projects was he had a nice feature up on Carl Meyer. His transition from pro rugby to the BC Lions, has the inside track to be the Lions punter in 2025. So check that out, and all the best to Stephen Chang, a very valuable contributor to all of our platforms the last several years.
Yeah, definitely a big loss, but Stephen has said that he will be around in the summer, so we'll hold him to it now that we have that on the record, because he became a damn good photographer.
Absolutely.
If he's pretty much majority of the photos you've seen on the Lions socials the last couple of years have been his, so some pretty spectacular stuff. And yeah, wish all the best to my old road roomie. We've definitely had a lot of good meals on the road these last 3 years.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of good times. So
major foodie he is, yes.
But all the best.
Absolutely. All right, Ryan Rigmaiden in just a couple minutes, but going to talk to him. Always an exciting element of camp is the volume of American rookies coming. And we're not just going to highlight one or two here, but there's some intriguing names here. There's going to be a heck of a battle at running back with the likes of James Butler going to be joined by Jason Huntley, Xander Horvath, another ex-NFLer, Devontae Price, Kadri Ollison, who caught Nathan Rourke's crazy touchdown with Jacksonville that one year, and Nathaniel Pete. Couple of good receivers. Ryan Rigmaiden's going to talk about those guys, but What stands out at you when you look at this, Nick?
Well, we always talk about this. There's always those, one or two receivers or defensive backs that stand out in every camp. It's been like that the last 3 years I've been here, going back to guys like Alex Hollins, Manny Rigumba, Aiden Eberhardt, guys like Stanley Berryhill and Ronald Kent Jr. last year. But, looking for those guys this year, right? And there's Ryan Rigmaiden and co. They've definitely brought in a big group of. There's about 30 guys right now that they've brought in right now. So always looking at the receivers. I saw when on the you write the releases obviously for the signings, but a guy like Javian Lofton, who's a receiver that brought in, you actually included one of his crazy one-handed catches in the release, and that's something that when that happens in training camp, that's always something that's a standout. At least for us in training camp, getting the visuals of that. But the quarterbacks always get special treatment. So a guy like Garrett Schrader, I'm excited to see because he's someone who is his measurables, right? He's 6'4", he had 37 touchdowns in college at Syracuse. So that's someone that I think naturally you got to assume that will translate very well to the CFL game. So really excited to see what he looks like in camp as, a big bodied CFL player. The Sam position's obviously quite open right now with Manny Rigumba and TJ Lee off the roster right now. So I don't know, as a guy like Tyler Coyle who was here in the roster expansion period last year, is he someone that can fit in? He's over 6 feet tall. Johnny Dixon was recently signed. He's also someone that could fit that build. I was looking at Coyle when he was with the Cowboys. He had some couple physical moments, so excited to look for that. And even as a callback to last podcast, a receiver like Devin Carter I was looking at, he averaged 16 and a half yards a catch on 118 catches in college. And that's a big sample size where he's someone who can take the top off of defense. So obviously going to be looking for that in camp. And when I say it's a callback to Farhan too, and he was asking about, the ability to have a speedster on offense, aside from Stanley Berryhill maybe, or Aiden Eberhardt, even if he can become a deep threat guy this season. So, and there's stuff like that. And there's, like you said, there's 5 running backs. That's something that's been different the past couple of years.
And an area for me, defensive line, linebackers. I mean, linebackers, Mike Smith Jr., a guy that I know Ryan Rigmaiden's very excited about. Built like a brick house. When you see this guy, you shake his hand, he crushes your hand. Was here at the practice roster expansion toward the end of last year. Defensive line, Sean Mustin Thurman, Adam Rodriguez, Jeffrey Johnson, names that don't jump out yet, but hey, when you consider a guy like Josh Banks, who was a starter the last 4 years, not brought back, there's at least one opportunity there for somebody to earn a spot. Whether that's someone like Jonah Tavai, who's coming back in year 2 if he has more of a full-time role. Thibaut Debaye's been re-signed. You talked about Josh Archibald, a defensive end who departed. So maybe there's an area there for someone to come in. So defensive line, linebackers, those first 2 levels of the defense. Very excited to see how these newcomers mix in with these other free agent signings. And
the last one for me, got to mention this. Tyler Smith, an offensive lineman. He is 6'8", 310 pounds. So I'm just excited to see him, period. To see massive, what he looks like amongst, so maybe put him beside Ronald Kent Jr. and compare their sizes, because that's a pretty drastic change. So there's some size there, there's some speed. And like we say, there's always guys that you can just see that stand out. So if you're in the interior in BC, you come check it out. We always talk about that you can visually see it. So come visually see it.
First year Lions, May 7th, May 8th on the field at Hillside Stadium. Should also mention FanFest announced earlier. May 24th at Hillside Stadium. FanFest presented by BCLC. Back to the way we used to do it. No street festival this year. Logistically, it'll be a bit easier, all in one area. Fans don't have to travel, drive, worry about parking downtown. It's all at Hillside. Head to bclions.com for more information on FanFest. You know who's very excited, we for sure think, about some of these players we're talking about? It's the general manager, Ryan Rigmaiden, going to join us. Also going to do a bit of a listener mailbag. We asked for some of your questions on social media. We'll have the GM answer some of those. Coming up on First and Now, presented by World Vision. And we have tracked him down, General Manager Ryan Rigmaiden of the BC Lions. And Nick, you got any airplane sound effects, planes, trains, and automobiles? I imagine it's been quite the the process getting from North Carolina to Regina, Ryan, but you're going to make it there. What's going on?
Yeah, it's been a busy time. So came back from Texas. It was pretty crazy weather in Dallas there. There's been some crazy winds and unfortunately some loss of life out there with everything they've been going through. So ducked some tornadoes coming back, but at Raleigh-Durham here and getting ready to head up to MSP and then Regina. So things have been fantastic. It's a busy time. This is stuff that happens to us every year. So you just got to roll with it and keep moving.
Yeah, and glad you're safe. Glad you're getting to where you need to be, and obviously, yeah, very, very trying times in that part of the world with Mother Nature, of course. But it is. We're entering it. You know, you can feel it. It's like Christmas is almost around the corner, right? We'll talk about the Combine this week, preparing for the CFL Draft. We're inside of 2 months from Kamloops. Always a fun time. You starting to feel it right now? What's going through your mind?
Yeah, we're excited. You know, obviously the CFL Combine is coming up here and we've got pro days on the American side. And, you know, this is a huge pillar of our scouting process. And so Rob Ralph's done so much of the legwork for us, and Neil and I and myself and Buck and the rest of the coaches are getting into the deeper ends of the draft and just looking to move forward. So, you know, this week is all about verifying what you saw on film. And so, you know, if a guy plays fast, you want to see him run fast. If he plays fast and runs slow, it means you need to go back and look at some things. And so it's an exciting time for the foundation of our franchise.
What would you say we're prioritizing when it comes to the draft this year?
Yeah, I'll keep our biggest needs confidential, Matt. I don't want to tip our hand, but at the end of the day, you know, Canadian talent is how you win. And, you know, we've done a pretty good job of building that up so far. You're always looking for, and this is something you've heard me say 100 times since my first press conference a couple of months ago, but, you know, we need grit and we need toughness, and that's at all positions. So if it's a defensive lineman, linebacker, DB, whoever it may be, offensive line, these guys have to have grit and toughness. And so this is something that's got to be compatible with Buck's offense. And that mental toughness is something that we're really focusing on as well.
Let Nikki here is going to chime in a minute on a couple of the key off-season additions, but you mentioned the process. 4 months it's been since the introductory press conference right in here, end of November. What's it been like for you these last few months, Ryan, as you adapt to this new role? Any surprises, any twists and turns? What's it been like for you?
Yeah, it's been busy. I mean, we had so many things that we've done, coaching change, the Verdum Adams trade, the Nathan Rourke restructuring everybody else. We've had some key players retire. And then you obviously have free agency. So you're adding some additions that you think are going to be real weapons for you this next season, but you also lose some players too. So it's a very dynamic situation, and it's something that we felt like we were very prepared for. Again, Buck and I and the rest of the staff just being in lockstep with how we want to build this team, the type of players we want to bring in, because there's a huge difference in just acquiring players and building a team. And we want to build a team. And so it's that preparation that we've all had. Neil McAvoy has been a huge part of that as well. But moving forward in the right direction, making sure we adhere to the plan and attracting the right players.
After the team moved forward with Nathan Rourke at quarterback via the Vernon Adams Jr. trade, you made another, I would call it a blockbuster trade in the CFL with Dejon Allen coming in from the Toronto Argonauts for Ryder Varga. What can you reveal about how that trade came about, and also, what the team saw and wanted in Dejon coming over here as an offensive tackle?
Yeah, when I took the job, I reached out to every GM and just said, hey, we're open for business. And if there's somebody that no longer fits in your plans, please run it by us. We want to be in on every trade, every possible deal until it's time to not be in it. And Dejon came up fairly early, talked with Toronto and Murph and Pinball out there. Right out of the gate, we weren't sure it was going to be possible. But as things kept progressing, it looked like it was going to be a little bit more probable. And so we'd got excited. We'd had our coaches watch the tape to make sure, again, they're saying the same things that we are. Obviously, Dejon is a tremendously talented young man. He went to school in Hawaii, lives in Las Vegas. He's kind of a West Coast guy. We thought this was a great fit for not only who he is on the field, but also off the field. And so upgrading this offensive line was a priority for us. We felt like we had to get better. We needed more talent. We needed more grit. And Dejan was that guy. Now you're also parting away with a pick and with a very good player in Ryder Vargas. So these things are never easy. You gotta be in lockstep with your coaching staff and find out what this team is going to be about. And at the end of the day, you make the best decision possible. And we chose to pull the trigger on that one and couldn't be happier.
A lot of fans are excited about the re-addition of James Butler too at the running back position, and obviously a lot of fans are citing the 2022 success that he had with Nathan Rourke in the backfield. How much did that come into play in when it came to bringing back James this season and beyond?
Yeah, I mean, obviously we've all liked JB, and usually when you have the production that JB did, especially in 22 or 23, when you're productive that much, when you have that much production and you have to say goodbye to a player, it's usually because of salary demands. And so, we had let JB go. He went to Hamilton. Obviously we had a very productive year with Will Stanback last year, but JB at the end of the day, we felt like he was just a better fit, maybe a little bit more explosive, catches the ball extremely well, understands pass pro. He was somebody that the coaching staff was excited about as well. So glad to have JB back and expect him to be more motivated than ever.
Then Baker and I, this episode, we were taking some time aside to, highlight the first year Americans that, yourself and the U.S. Scouts bring in, year out. And I think as of today, we're looking at around 30 different first year Americans that have been brought in by this team for training camp in Kamloops coming up in May. What can you say about the class of the whole class of these 30 players that are going to be here? Like, I don't know if you want to highlight some individuals, but overall in this class, what are some of the characteristics and attributes that you're excited about?
Yeah. Again, across the board, toughness, gritty, mentally strong, but also explosive. You look at a running back and a returner like Huntley from New Mexico State. Just a coincidence. That's coach's alma mater, by the way, but he was very excited we were able to get him. This is a kid that's bounced around the NFL for 4 or 5 years and is a legitimate threat to score every time he touches the ball. So that return position, we knew we had to get better this year. Adding a running back with those traits and that skill set is something that we'd love to add to a backfield feature in JB. And so the other running backs are special. We've got big physical guys that can run. They're yards after contact guys. They're good contact balance runners. We want to set the tone with the run game. We want to be physical and we want to make explosive plays down the field. So adding wide receivers like Hayden Hatton and Devin Carter and Jared Eberhardt. I mean, these guys are players that have played at a high level before and can get it done. So on defense, we love the young linebackers we have. We've got some increased size in the secondary. That's something we wanted to focus on as well. Just get a little bit bigger, get a little bit younger, a little faster. And so we felt like we've done that. So camp is going to sort everything out as it always does. There's players that we're very high on that come in that aren't mentally prepared. And, you just have to move forward. There's going to be players that are surprises. And it's going to be exciting to see how this all unfolds.
We know what obviously Nathan Rourke, Jeremiah Masoli, even Chase Bryce is capable of, but Garrett Schrader, quarterback, one of those newer Americans we're talking about. What can fans expect to see from him in training camp?
Yeah, so Garrett, first of all, he's just a big, strong guy. I think he's 6'6", 230 pounds. He's a former wide receiver that came out of high school and went to played receiver at Arkansas before he transferred up to Syracuse. This guy can do a lot of things. He can play receiver. He can play that H-back spot. He can do the short yardage stuff because he's so big and strong. He's done that stuff before. So now he can certainly throw it as well. But him coming in and adding that skill set, which, look, we know Bryce can, we've been incredibly impressed with Bryce. Obviously, the CFL knows who Masoli is, but Schrader's superpower is what he can do as a runner. And so we're going to give him every chance to be that short yardage guy and see what he can do. But at the end of the day, this is a competition for everybody. We're excited about all of these rookies, but these guys have to come in and perform. And so Schrader is going to be given these opportunities. And because of that special skill set, I think that opens up a lot of creativity with Buck Pierce.
Speaking of Buck Pierce, our first chance to talk to you in long form, at least, about the coaching staff, rounding it out with Christian Matt, recently retired, will coach the running backs, but Benny, RP, both retained, some great veterans in Randy Melvin, Glenn Young. The attributes are endless, but what excites you about this coaching staff, Ryan?
Yeah, I'm going to sound like a broken record, but just the toughness and the grit. You talk to Randy Melvin, and you guys will soon. This guy is no BS. He's going to tell you what he thinks. He is going to be all about effort and impact and playing physical. Glenn Young is the same way. You touched on RP and Benny, who everybody knows extremely well. We've got a new offensive line coach who's terrific, our special teams coach with Corey McDermott. We've got young coaches, but we've also sprinkled in some seasoned vets. And so, you mentioned Christian Matt. His reputation is outstanding, and the run game obviously is a direct correlation of offensive line and running back. And so for him to get in there and teach the running backs and emphasize, hey, here's what we used to see up front. Let's mesh this with what you're seeing. And so you look across the college and NFL ranks and even in our league as well, but there's a lot of former or current running backs coaches that used to be offensive linemen and the other way around as well. So it's a great staff. It's a balanced staff, young and old, experienced and new, and they've got some energy that we're excited about.
Ryan, now that the team's taken shape, the coaching staff has taken shape. You alluded it to a little bit with the returner this year, but in training camp this season coming up in May, what are some of the battles or just aspects of the team that you're looking to keep your eye on or wanting to have questions answered come training camp?
Yeah, I think linebacker is interesting. We certainly been productive at that position over the last couple of years, but in from the personnel side and also the coaching side, in order for us to take that next step, it was, hey, we need to get bigger, faster, stronger, and more instinctive at that linebacker position. And so we've signed some veterans that we're excited about, but also we have a couple of rookies in Mike Smith that was here for roster expansion last year, and then Devin Richardson from Washington State. These guys have a lot of potential. And so that battle is going to be, that's going to come right down to the wire, in my opinion. We're going to give the young guys every chance to come in and get reps. At the same time, I can promise you these veterans aren't going to be excited about losing reps. So that battle is going to happen every single day. We expect that position to come in and bring it. The other one is offensive line. And I don't care if it's, Pee Wee or the NFL or the CFL. If your offensive line is good, it's very hard to have a bad football team. And so we wanted to upgrade things on the right side. We've already talked about Dejon Allen at that guard spot. We feel like we've got some increased options as well with Foku coming over and Una as well, our number one pick last year. So we want to get younger, bigger, stronger, and we want these guys to have a feisty attitude. So those two positions I think are going to be interesting.
All right. Save the most fun part for last here while we've got you for a few minutes. We have our listener mailbag, which we like to do on First and Now. Some very good, well-rounded questions coming in. But Ryan, we're going to start you off with a fun one, okay? Our very own Liam Thompson. He likes to joke around. He wants to know, will there be a rematch of last year's foot race with Neil McAvoy?
100% no. I will never do that again. I don't think Neil's ever going to do that again. That was a one-time thing, and we were just trying to get the guys going, and I feel so bad. Let me say this. Here's what is terrific about that whole situation. Neil obviously fell, and I'm sure you guys saw he had some turf burn from his knee down to his ankle, and that thing did not heal for 3 or 4 months. I mean, it was bad. But Matt, I think it was you. I remember you coming up to us at lunch saying, "Hey, would you guys mind if we put that up on Twitter?" And I immediately said, no, I certainly didn't want to embarrass Neil or anything like that. And just the great character, fun guy that he is, he said, no, put it up there. He didn't mind taking one for the team, so to speak. But I tell you what, I did too. I both won and lost that one with the groin pull and the hamstring pull. So no more runs, no more races. That was a one-time deal.
Yeah, and it was probably one of our most engaged with posts of all of training camp. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but there you go. So he's like Jerry Seinfeld. Remember Seinfeld didn't want to race his rival again because he beat him in high school? So there we go. That's
I choose not to run.
There you go. So he's retiring a champion. All right, to X we go. Mark, 98 Celtic, a regular contributor. Don't want to put anyone on the spot here, but who do you see as projected starters at boundary, halfback, and Sam? Of course, the secondary, a bit of a juggling going on with guys coming and going, Ryan.
Sorry, Matt, we broke up a tiny bit, but did you say just who do you project as starters in the secondary?
Boundary, halfback, and Sam, Mark's wondering about.
Yeah, I mean, that's going to be settled in camp. And so, Ronald Kent had played that spot and also some field half. Obviously, we used to have TJ Lee there for a long time, and what a tremendous player he was. We've got young, talented players that we want to give that opportunity to. And so the great thing about this staff and specifically with working with Ryan Phillips for as long as we have, he doesn't care who you are, who you play, or where you played. He is going to start the best players. And so as a scouting staff, that's a tremendous quality to having a coach, because if you bring in a talented player, he's going to play them. And so you've seen over the years with, TJ Lee and Jalen Edwards-Cooper and Boileau and Patrice Renee and some of these other guys, you bring in talented players, they're going to find a home for them. And that's something we need to do. We need to kind of find that next group of guys. But we do have some other options on the table. And obviously with GP and Boileau and Deontay Williams, who has signed a free agency, we feel like we've got some veterans back there that can help make that adjustment.
Aaron Douglas at Aaron KY Led on X wants to know, other than Dwayne Hendricks and Dijon Allen, what have the Lions done to improve the offensive and defensive lines?
Yeah, getting Foku in was a depth guy that we felt like could come in. He started. He could be a starter for us. He could be a 6 for us. Again, everything we want to do is going to be based on competition. And so the big thing that we're excited about is George Una, our number 1 pick last year. We tried to get him on the field several times last year, and unfortunately for just one reason or another, it just didn't happen. But you see the teams that are successful in this league about getting their young players, their young offensive linemen. The only way they're going to develop is getting them on the field. And so we feel like that could be an upgrade for us right now. So it's not a free agent move, but we didn't make a ton of free agent moves there because we thought so highly of this young man. So across the defensive line, we felt like we've got a great group, and expecting younger players like Jonah Tavai to step up, and then a player that was a rookie for us last year, but certainly is not a rookie in the NFL world, was Christian Covington, who came in and had five or six sacks for us. You've got Nathan Cherry, who's coming off an injury. So, we weren't going to sign free agents just for the sake of signing them. They've got to be better than what we think we have. And so we've got some great depth guys that haven't or that are only scratching the surface of their ability. So we need to give those guys a chance. And once we do, we're going to be better for it.
Couple more here. We have a couple minutes between the goalposts. Noah on X. Will you be targeting any specialists in the global draft? And are these potentially some guys who can come in and learn behind a Sean White for a couple of years?
Yeah, absolutely. I think when you look at the CFL landscape of the impact positions of the global players, specialist has probably been the foundation. So you've got some excellent punters and kickers in this league. Sean is, playing the best football he probably ever has. Matter of fact, I straight in text with him last night. And he said, "Man, you're going to get the best out of me this year." And after all these years, he's still so focused and he always wants to get better. So, but the reality is, we got to get younger at these spots too. So we've got our South African punter in Carl Meyer, and this guy has got an incredible leg, both as a punter and on kickoff. He was activated one game last year, and we like what we saw. So we need to give him that opportunity. And we'll see what happens, but you're always going to target those players because there has been so much success there. Now, we've also got Thibaut Debaye at defensive tackle and Max Royer at linebacker, and these guys have played a ton for us. And so we're going to get the best players possible, but if at all possible, if we can find a specialist, we certainly will.
And lastly, our good pal Glenn Wickens on Facebook, usually see him in the stands at Hillside Stadium a few of the days. He wants to know, do you feel we've signed enough speed at wide receiver?
Oh man, I don't know if any of my 15 years I've ever felt like we've got enough speed. You're always looking for more of it. And so it is something that we know that we have to get better with. We've got some great possession guys. We've got big physical guys. And you've got guys like Justin McInnes who are big physical and can get downfield. And so we've got to add that speed element to this offense just to be more explosive. And so there's some players that we've already added that we feel really good about, but also some players on the neg list that we expect to sign over the next 4 to 6 weeks here before camp. But speed's always an element. You need that player to stretch the field vertically to give your quarterback options. And then obviously when you have a player that can take the top off the defense, like a Lucky Whitehead used to, those guys open everything up in the middle and shallow. So we've got guys like that, but are we looking for more? Always.
Well said. Always appreciate you taking the time for the fans as well. You know as well as we do, Ryan, being here for a long time, these fans are passionate and they're hungry to see us do well. So we look forward to hearing your reports from Regina and the Combine and draft season. It's a great time, my friend. Thank you for making time.
You bet, guys. Good to see you. We'll talk soon.
Awesome. Thanks, Ryan. Enjoy Regina.
Excellent stuff with Ryan Rigmaiden, and you can hear it in his voice. There's going to be some excellent competition once again.
Yeah, and he's pretty honest about it too, which is nice to hear. And I hope if you're checking out the interview with Ryan Rigmaiden, you learned a lot about the inner workings of the Lions roster this year and what to look forward to in Kamloops.
Very well said. Again, May 7th, rookies or first years, as we like to call them. A lot of these guys have played before in other leagues, so technically not football rookies. May 11th, Sunday, mark it down, the first full practice that Sunday morning at beautiful Hillside Stadium. All right, trivia. What do we got, Nikki?
It's draft related because, as we mentioned, the Combines this week, and we've seen mock drafts pop up. So it's that time of the year. So I actually asked you, I walked into your office last week and asked you this. So you started covering the Lions in 2007 in some capacity.
Yeah.
So that's the cutoff.
For Team 1040.
So that's the cutoff date for this question. It worked out nice.
Sure.
I need you to go back and name the Lions' highest draft pick at each position since 2007.
Okay.
Does that make sense? So
I think so.
So each position, the Lions' highest draft pick since 2007. And the positions I got are quarterback, running back, receiver, O-line, D-line, linebacker, DB, and then I just did a specialist. So
since 2000. Okay. Receiver, I'm going to say Danny Vandervoort.
Correct. 2017, third overall.
Running back, I'm going to go Shaquille Murray-Lawrence.
Incorrect.
Jamal Lee.
Correct.
Okay, yeah.
2009, third overall.
2009, didn't play here very much, if at all, did Jamal
I actually
Lee.
saw him. He had a top 5 40 time in CFL history. They actually posted that this week, so. Speed.
Linebacker has to be Jordan Williams.
Has to be by
first
default.
overall.
First overall.
Quarterback has to be Nathan Rourke.
You are correct. 15th overall.
15th overall. What positions are we missing
here?
Here?
O-line, D-line, DB, and kicker punter.
O-line. Ooh. Charles Valancourt.
Incorrect.
No. What? So someone went. So Valancourt was 4th overall. So there was an offensive lineman that went higher than Valancourt. Okay, maybe I have to come back to that one.
He's still in the league. I'll give you a hint on that.
Did I do
Valancourt was 5th overall. You're looking for a guy that was 3rd overall.
I'm looking for a guy that was 3rd overall. Okay.
And is still in the league.
And he's still in the league.
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
The other 3 players are not in the league. So D lineman, DB, and kicker punter.
D lineman, DB, kicker, punter. Okay.
They all play in the CFL.
Were these all guys that played for the Lions?
Yes. I would say one is known for the Lions.
DL. Would it be Jamal Westerman or Jabbar Westerman?
Jabbar Westerman, you got it. 2012, 2nd overall.
2nd overall, yeah. I knew he was high. Okay. All right, so we're still missing O-line and kicker punter.
And DB.
O-line
is a 1st round pick. DB and kicker punter are 2nd round picks.
Ooh. DB, Anthony Thompson.
Correct.
2016.
That's a good pool.
Yep.
Yeah. 12th overall.
Out of Southern Illinois, I think I want to say. Okay, so we're just missing kicker, punter,
And
and
O-lineman.
O-line. Kicker, punter, you said round 2?
These are probably the players that have the longest CFL careers, actually.
Kicker, punter, round 2, you said?
Yep. 11th overall.
Don't give me the year, because that's going to be...
There's not many, obviously, that get drafted,
No.
but
Hmm.
this guy did both duties.
Since 2007. Wow.
I can give you his career path. I can Google
Sure.
that right now.
I'm kind of stumped on this O-lineman.
Oh, you'll know his name.
And he played here.
Yes, he played here for a couple years.
And he was higher than 5th overall.
He was 3rd overall. The kicker punter, this is his career path. BC, Edmonton, Saskatchewan, Hamilton, Edmonton.
Hugh
I'll give you
O'Neill.
correct.
Yeah,
Nice guess.
there we go.
11th overall.
Now this O-lineman.
This is funny
Am I
because
gonna kick myself?
yes,
I
because
think for the sake of time, I have to let you give it
I'll
to
give
me.
you his career path. This will probably
Okay.
give it away. BC, Saskatchewan, Ottawa,
Still.
and he's in the league.
He's still in the league. No, who is it?
Peter Godber.
Oh, Matt.
I know.
See?
You said you'd kick yourself.
Yeah, all right. Sorry, Pete, if you're listening.
But 3rd overall.
3rd overall,
in
right,
2018.
2018.
Yep.
Yeah.
So just beat out Charles.
Well, it did pretty good, all things considered.
Anthony
Yeah.
Thompson and Hugh O'Neill are pretty good guesses. And you got Jabbar Westerman too.
Yeah. Love
was
it.
good.
That was good. Okay.
So try to find the next
Try to find the next.
Nathan Rourke.
Yeah, sure.
Well, he's got a brother.
Well, take Curtis. Remember that was part of our sort of internal plan, you and I. Oh, okay, well, Nathan will go to the NFL, but we'll just draft Curtis in 2025. We'll be okay.
Yeah, there's several Rourkes, there's several Fords, they're growing on trees.
Love it. Good job, Nikki. Okay, go for it or punt time. What do you got?
I'm going for new TV shows right now because, like we said, it's a time of year to do it. So I just finished Mad Men recently. I've been watching the U.S. and Canadian versions of The Traitors for my little reality TV fix. Enjoying that TV show a lot. I watched all 2 seasons of Severance in the last week. That's the little stomach flu sidelined me a bit. So
There you
in
go.
the meantime, watched all Severance and open for more recommendations. I know it was Disclaimer, you said?
Disclaimer
Yeah.
on Apple TV is another good one.
Okay.
It's one of those little mini series, 7-8 episodes. It's a quick watch.
That's what I'm looking for. So
So-
any TV shows probably with max 5 seasons is what I'm looking for. American Horror Story is one on. I know that doesn't really fit that criteria, but
Oh, yeah,
I'm on. That's on my list right now. Disclaimer. So got a couple.
I finally started Yellowstone on the weekend.
yeah, that's a
So,
classic. Great cinematography.
I can tell I'm 2 episodes in. I can tell it's going to be awesome.
I don't. The plot probably could have used. I watched it all. I won't spoil anything, but the plot wasn't my favorite, but the visuals were outstanding.
Cinematography, right?
Well, just being in the Yellowstone and
Yeah.
Montana is beautiful.
I want to go ride a horse now. That's what I want to do. Yeah.
with Casey.
Yeah. All right. I'm going for it. Been on a reading spree again lately. James Patterson. You can't go wrong. I know a lot of his books aren't him. They just have his name on it and it's someone ghostwriting, but I'm on like an early James Patterson kick thanks to Neil McAvoy donated me a few books last week. So you might remember these movies, Kiss the Girls and Along Came a Spider were 2 of his early books that got adapted into movies. Morgan Freeman plays the character.
Oh,
in
okay.
them. Alex Cross is the name of the detective. So I'm going to pick up those 2 to read those 2 next time. So yeah, James Patterson, early editions. Can't go wrong with those.
We're going hard copy or ebooks?
Hard copy.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. I'm old school that way.
Okay.
And Neil gets rid of the covers though, so it's a book without a cover, which is fine. But it's yeah.
Looks like you're reading the Bible.
Yeah, exactly. All right, punting time.
All right, so I mentioned it earlier, but my punt this week is going underwater because although I did it with a dolphin, that was probably the first time I had gone underwater in a couple of years, and I know how to swim and all that, but I never have enjoyed going underwater, whether it's like scuba diving or just doing it for fun. And it was it just burns, right? And it was obviously salt water too, which didn't help because of the dolphin. But I was literally leaking water for the next like 24 hours. Like literally I was walking and water was coming out of my nose and everything. So, and the burning sensation of it, not my favorite thing. So I'm even though I did it and I don't regret it because kind of a, one of those once in a lifetime things, but I don't like going underwater, period.
I did like the snorkeling in the caves down there.
That's pretty cool.
If you're claustrophobic and don't like the dark, it can be a little.
But even when you're swimming, I like swimming above
funny.
water. I'm not the guy that's like swimming underwater in general. Just no fun.
Yeah, the back, as a kid, swimming lessons, I didn't always love the underwater thing. So, all right, here's quick backgrounder. So, in the process of buying a new car, we're a one-car family currently. So, I've been SkyTraining to work. I cannot stand these people who bring their mountain bikes and their scooters onto the SkyTrain and take up all the room on
like
the frickin' train.
Yeah.
Just, I'm done with that. Like, come on.
There almost needs to be like a special space for them.
Like if you take a bus, you can put your bike on the rack of the bus. So when you and I are running TransLink, this is the first thing we're fixing. Yeah, just inconsiderate. Get out of here with that. That's it.
I kind of like when they're like outrageously big though. It's kind of funny. It does suck when it's a busy SkyTrain.
But these people that ride these scooters on the sidewalk, you think they're gonna run you over. It's not good. I don't know.
Yeah. They're evolving. That's for sure.
All right, they not like us to end things off.
All right, so it's a little bit of old news now, but I wanted to at least try and get a CFL comparison to this. But Nikola Jokic, Denver Nuggets superstar.
Yep.
Several time or multi MVP in the NBA. He had a 30-point, 20 assist, and 20 rebound game. It was the first
a triple. Is that what you call it?
I guess. Yeah. It was a 30-20-20. It was the first one in NBA history. So the CFL comparable to that, what would it be? Would it be like the examples I wrote down was a receiver going for 15 catches for 300 yards and 3 touchdowns, quarterback going like 40 completions for 600 yards and 6 touchdowns. Like the thing is that scoring in NBA has gone up a bunch.
Huge.
But scoring in the CFL hasn't, it's gone up, but not like to that like league wide level or like that. That's just kind of how the NBA game is played now. But I think the 15-303, that's never been done.
No.
And that's got to be the comparison, right?
Yeah, there is no, but 30-20-20, that's, like you say, even for the amount of scoring, that's next level stuff right there. Who did he do it against? Not that it matters, but
I think it was New Orleans or Phoenix or something like that. I don't know. I was in Mexico when it happened, actually, so I came across it on my Twitter platform. But
who do you like in the NBA this year?
To take it all?
Yeah. Boston again, probably.
I don't know.
Lakers Celtics would be good.
I watched that game. Saturday night, actually, when we were getting ready for dinner, I caught that game in the hotel room, the Lakers and Celtics. That'd be good. I don't know. Top of my head, probably Boston in the East. I'm not a believer in Cleveland yet. I kind of think that they're OKC. Like they're just not ready yet. They gotta, you gotta lose. You gotta learn how to lose before you learn how to win, kind of thing. In the West, screw it. Let's go Lakers.
Okay.
Celtics, Lakers. Yeah, the classic
matchup. I'm all for it. I'm sticking with basketball as we wrap things up. Second time today, we're going to mention him. Carl Meyer, Lions global punter by way of South Africa. His wife, Carolyn, sang the national anthem at a recent New Orleans Pelicans game.
Huh.
Yes, you heard that right. You can head to her Instagram. It's Carolyn Ray Meyer. And there's video and pictures all over it. Don't really have the capability to play anything here, but she did a very good job. And I'm interested, next time we see them, I'm interested to know how this came about. So good on anyone, especially, in these times of political stuff.
Yeah.
Singing the anthem, particularly the American one here in Canada. Fans want to boo, whatever, that's fine. But props to all anthem singers. It's not for the faint of heart, but Carl's wife's pretty talented.
Yeah, and I think she was living here last year too. So I wonder if she knows the Canadian anthem yet. If you see what I'm getting at,
right? Yeah, I mean, she met her in Victoria at Touchdown Pacific. That was his debut in the regular season. So yeah, this was very cool to see.
Be cool to have a player's wife do the anthem.
Let's get on it.
Pretty motivating. I'm assuming for Carl.
We should we should get on this.
Bomb the opening kickoff right through the uprights.
Jordan, if you're listening, we have a candidate for you.
Yes.
All right, there we go. And That brings to an end another eventful episode. We'll be back in a couple of weeks. It'll be really time to preview the draft coming up. Be sure to subscribe, rate, leave a review wherever you get your podcasts. First and now, a presentation of World Vision Canada. Visit worldvision.ca, bclions.com/worldvision to become a supporter. Nikki, thank you.
Until next time.
And we will talk then on First and Now.